What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Raw Review. I know a day late and a dollar short. Sorry, your boy fell asleep watching the three at a table last night on the Nation of Domination. Mark Henry, Godfather, and Farouk. I really enjoyed it. I was really entertained, man. Told some inside stuff, looked back at some previous moments. Man, even got to see The Rock drop a picture on Farouk for the second time. Man, oh, that's so awesome. I remember the first time I saw him drop a self-portrait and say it was from the bottom of his heart. Oh my God, that look on Farouk's face could have burned holes through every fan in the audience. God, was it so good. But you know what we're here for? We're here for that Monday Night Raw review. While I got you here, why don't you go ahead and give us the video a like, subscribe, follow us on Patreon at the Outsiders Podcast. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at ClickPod, and myself, JG, from the TOP at the Legend 958. As well as you guys know, we're on iTunes, Podomatic, anywhere there's a platform, we're definitely there, guys. So go ahead and check us out. Keep a real close eye to that Patreon page, guys. Soon we're about to start dropping the exclusive Patreon only content. And I know you guys have been interested in waiting on that. Sorry about the biographies taking forever. Your boy just wants to go ahead and get a new microphone and a camera so we're not looking at this horrible video audio. We're trying to move up in life at the TOP, so we want to make things a little more professional. So that's why I've been taking a little longer to get that dropped out. But outside of that, let's go ahead and reverse and get back to what we're really here for tonight, Monday Night Raw review. Okay, so our show starts out, and we start off with Dean Ambrose in the ring. Honestly, I kind of knew exactly where this was going to lead, but we got Dean Ambrose in the ring showing footage from last week, explaining why he doesn't trust Seth Rollins. Then we have Seth Rollins come out, pretty much admit to his faults, the things he's done in the past that are wrong. He was an asshole. Apologize, hopefully, seeking forgiveness from his brother in the Shield. Right after this takes place, guys, Miz and the Miz Entourage come out, say their piece, and of course, it's a setup for a match later in the evening. Next week. It's going to be a 2-on-3 handy match. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus The Miz and the Miztourage. I understand what they're building up for here. I've been hearing a few places some ideas and rumors of the Shield coming back. I've noticed over the last 2 weeks between the segments between these guys, there's definitely been... They've definitely been given some ideas that the Shield might return. Do I believe it? No. Do I think it's just going to be a Seth and Dean thing for a while? Of course. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to actually see them get the tag belts. And then maybe the WWE would put a little effort back in the tag division, crazily enough. But I guess we have to kind of wait and see on this one, guys, to where they're really going to make it develop from. And then following this, we have the Alexis Bliss and Bayley match. Alexis was pissed after last week's loss. Man, I'm just not a Bayley guy. So this is really hard for me. I mean, it was a good match. I don't want to take anything away from the match. I don't want to make light of it. I'm just not interested in Bayley at all. Bayley hits the Bayley to back. Bayley with the win. Mad props to her. I understand what they're setting up. It'd be... Actually, when we come back to this a little later in the show, I'll dive a little deeper and give you some thoughts on where I think they may go for this. But right now, let's just continue on with the show. Alright, so next we have a little mini backstage segment between Kurt and Corey. And they're discussing the reveal. Pretty much, Corey's letting them know, man, you're going to have to tell everybody. Otherwise, you're going to tarnish yourself, your legacy, your character, everything you stand for. I was curious, because, I mean, still at this point, I have no clue what it's going to be. If you listened to last week's Raw, you know what my thoughts were. If you haven't, stop this video now. Go ahead and check those out before you come back to this part. But I honestly thought the reveal was going to have to do with something with Dixie Carter. Or, I don't know, maybe Angle was coming out as he was gay. I don't know why that really crossed my mind, especially looking back at the situation now. It's just how he said there was so many things behind this. I mean, for me, it was only Dixie Carter. Maybe he's gay, but I wouldn't see why Vince would be offended or fire him for that, and his career would be in line now that I have a week to think about it. And we've already seen the results of what it really was. So looking back, that was probably the worst guess ever. Prediction ever. But once again, if you go back and watch it, man, I mean, it's really weird in the way he says I love you at the end. I don't know. What if they twisted this out later that they were really lovers? They were never father and son. Crazy. But enough of the nonsense. Back to the show. Next, we go ahead and we get a backstage segment with Tozawa, Apollo, and Titus Cruz backstage. And Hassan, they're talking. And Titus is on a roll. You know, he's just trying to hype up his squad, his two little fellas. But then Hassan comes in, talks about how he is actually dedicating this match to the Iraqi wrestler that won the gold medal. I mean, there really wasn't much to this part. I mean, it really just was what it was. It was just a quick backstage segment to kill some time. I'm personally not going to really go in too deep in this part. Because once again, this is one of the things we're actually going to connect back to a little later in the show. After this, we have a 205 tag match. In this match, it's Brian Kendrick and Drew Gulak, who I love his idea, the no-fly zone. That's pretty cool, man. 205 are not flying and actually doing the bigger man work. I like that a lot, man. I just like his character. I like where he's coming from. He's very bland, don't get me wrong. But with that being said, I think you could really do something with his bland character and flip it around and kind of do a Bob Backlund theme with it. But then we have, like I was saying, Brian Kendrick and Drew Gulak versus Jack Gallagher and Mustafa Ali. First off, I just want to say, man, I really like watching Mustafa Ali in the ring. I'm not a huge Jack Gallagher fan. Honestly, I'm not a Jack Gallagher fan at all. He's probably one of my least favorite people to watch on the show right now. But Mustafa Ali, man, that boy is bad. And that inverted 450 splash is absolutely redunculous. I'm watching it, and just how close he is to the ropes, the movement of the 450 movement, and then the landing, man, it is all so perfect. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just amazed. And honestly, right after the match, I paused the TV for a little bit, because I just really wanted to think about it. Like, what other real aerial moves would I put on the level of that? And there's definitely a few. But the way he pulls that off, I'm definitely going to put it in my top 15 aerial finishers of all time. I don't know where yet. Maybe the TOP crew will get together one night, and we will actually come up with best of moves list for you guys. But like I was saying, I don't know where it ranks in that 15, but I really like it so much, and I really like it a lot, and it's definitely in my top 15. As for the match itself, for me it was lackluster. Mustafa Ali and Jack Gallagher get the win. very lackluster. I just don't think these guys ever have enough time. I know they had a little more time than usual tonight. And maybe it's just me not really finding Jack Gallagher entertaining. But like I said, this match is lackluster. The only time I really got excited for this match was at the very end, when you seen Mustafa hit the inverted 450 splash. I really dug it. Actually, very excited to see 205 tonight. I do want to see the 2 out of 3 falls between Mustafa and Drew Gulak. I think that's going to be a phenomenal match. I like the way they both work in the ring. I think they can feed off each other very well. And let's just hope for the best tonight, guys. So, after this, we have a segment I really liked. You guys know I've been kind of hard on, not hard. After last week, I really wasn't feeling the emotions they were putting Big Cass, the emotions and the wheels behind Big Cass. For me, it was very lackluster. I don't know, just it was something. But going back and watching his promo from last week, I do want to recorrect my statement. Actually, rewatching it, I did find it very good. Definitely the best promo that he's had in his career. But he just has a bland way of delivering it for me. I think a lot of reviewers out there, I think a lot of I just think people in the wrestling community gave the last week's Cass promo so much support because it was well done. But sometimes I think they forget about the delivery, and it was a dud. But this week I really liked where they're going with this. So we start out with Enzo out in the ring doing a promo. Talking about, how his mouth does get him into trouble regardless. He's never going to back down. The Enzo Amore little man or small man complex. Man, but that boy is so talented on the mic. And he says it too. I think there was a line in there he says that nobody in this nobody in this industry is more gifted on the mic than me. And to be honest, I don't think he's the most gifted on the mic right now. Definitely top 5 for me. I'd say number 1 at this exact moment is going to be Joe for me. I mean, Joe is fucking fire, guys. And once again, he does it again last night. But I don't want to get into the Joe until we get to the end. I'm really excited to get there, but hey, we gotta go through everything first to get to the save the best for last, guys. And then so during Enzo's promo, Cass starts to make his way down the ring, and Enzo pretty much tells him, bring it, big guy, I'm ready to fight. But in the last second, he scoots out the back of the ring. He's like, I'm smarter than that. It's like, I'm gonna go ahead and get in the crowd, and I'm going to take a seat. He grabs one of the little fans, puts him on his lap. Little dude wearing a little Enzo Amore wig. That's one of the things I love about Enzo, man. He's definitely all about them kids, man. I grew up as a kid in the wrestling culture. If it wasn't for that fandom as a kid, I might be like some of those people now that watched it when they were younger, but then just gave up at some point. It was really that built it for me. So, and for me, watching that last night, Enzo take that kid, it just reminded me back to Bret Hart giving the kids his glasses with his intro. I always wanted to be that kid. That kid lucked out last night, got to sit right next to his boy Enzo. I dug it, man. But then Enzo proceeds to tell him he's going to sit back and watch this match that Big Cass has. Come to find out, lo and behold, it's against the Big Show. In this match, I really thought it was done, guys. Um, Big Show is very dominant for about the first minute or two. Man, but then Kaz just runs through him, man. God, I know he's green in the ring, man, but the beat down he put on the Big Show and the Big Show's expression when he's looking at Kaz up the ramp after the match. Man, sometimes the eyes say a million without even saying a word. And man, you could just see the frustration in his eyes, and it truly made me feel like, damn, he just got rolled up on Big Kaz, embarrassed as shit because he's defending Enzo's honor as well. And Kaz is just smirking, man. And if they keep running Kaz like this, I would love it. So obviously, I think they're setting this up for Big Kaz and Big Show at the SummerSlam, and from everything I'm hearing, from all reports, rumors, that's exactly where they're going. The Big Show's contract is up around then. I don't care if Big Show's contract is up around then or not, man. Push Big Kaz right now hard. Make him a beast. But let me stop you. You want to really make money? Really cash out on this Enzo Big Kaz? I'm going back to once again what I said about 3 weeks ago when TLP was back in the lounge the last time. Give Enzo a championship push. Thinking about it, I don't want to see him with the world title, but you know what I would love to see him with? The Intercontinental belt. Man, that could be the first belt that Big Kaz wins, man. So what you do is you give Enzo, you push Enzo, man. You let him have that little underdog story where he actually keeps going through hell and then wins the IC belt. The whole time, you got Big Kaz watching in the background, waiting for the moment that he could strike and make his move, getting jealous, seeing the success of Enzo without Big Kaz. Maybe Kaz even starts to doubt himself in his head, thinking, man, was I the weakest link to this team? Are we the reason we never won championships? And then boom, you have the rematch. This time, you let Enzo have messed with his conscience and his psyche so much that initially Enzo is getting the upper hand. Obviously, he's not destroying Kaz, nothing like that. He's just getting the better upper hand. Just upstaging him at every turn. And then, halfway through the match, you have this pure aggression come out of Kaz like never before. Destroy Enzo. I want to see him so bad he's laying there in a puddle of his own blood. Ambulance have to come out and wheel him out of the arena. And it doesn't stop there. He gets wheeled into the ambulance. You drive the ambulance to the hospital. And then you do a little side segment, which you could play into the following week, where Kaz actually does a nice little visit to Enzo in the hospital with the belt. I think that'd really go over well with the fans. I think it would give Enzo a lot more credibility. So after this whole feud with Kaz just completely dies, he'll still have backing and support, and he won't just fall off into the non-existence realms of the Never Never Land. And Kaz will just look absolutely dominant, and he will get to win the the IC belt. And I think he would be a phenomenal IC champion. So after this, we have Roman Reigns backstage, and it's just another Roman promo. Wasn't anything wrong with it. If anything, it was actually pretty good. He talks about, this is his yard. He knows he never beat Joe, but tonight's the night. So on and so forth. It's always just the same thing with him, and the less he says, the better. You can see his confidence within himself giving promos is definitely growing. He's coming off a lot clearer on the mic, and he's coming off with a lot less hesitancy. So, it's nice to see some growth coming out of Roman. Oh, after this, man, we have the match I have been personally waiting for. Guys know, I have loved the work that Finn and Elias Sampson have been doing together. I loved Elias since New Japan. And Finn is Finn, man. I think it's one of the best entrants out there next to Shinsuke. But back to the match itself. I really enjoyed it. I can understand that people wouldn't. I would think you were personally an idiot. For me, it was phenomenal. A lot of big man spots, a lot of moving, man. Even gave Finn the upper, man. Even once again allowed Finn to show that beast mode, man. And I think the most exciting parts of the whole match for me was when Elias cracked him with the guitar over the head at the end. Now, I haven't seen a good guitar shot since Jeff Jarrett way back in the days. And we're talking about early 3-4 years deep into TNA days, man. That's about the last time I think I've seen a really good guitar shot to the head. When Elias did it, I was excited, man. Like, I've been waiting for him to bust out the guitar and give me that crack over Finn's head. For me personally, I want him just to do it instead of doing his normal in-ring singing. I want him to do the singing at the top of the ramp. Finn comes out not even knowing Elias is there, and then boom, from the back he cracks him. But I'll take the way we did it last night, and it definitely sets up for the no DQ match for next week. Elias versus Finn. I'm completely excited about this. I hope they give them 15 to a 20 minute spot for this match. I want the WWE to just tell them to go ham, show us what you did in New Japan, and let's roll. I think this match single-handedly could give full legitimacy to Finn as not only a title contender, but a main eventer at all times. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a main eventer. But lately, they've been giving him kind of that icy feel. This match next week could put Finn right back in the title hunt. Not only that, this could really propel Elias Sampson's career from this moment on. I mean, I think the man is phenomenal on the mic. If you watch his in-ring work, it is great. He absolutely tells a story. I think he has great pacing. I just don't think he's been given the okay to show what he can really fully do. So I'm hoping next week by this match we really get to find out what's going on here. So fingers crossed next week, guys. Like, let's go. Finn Sampson is going to be amazing. WWE does this right. At minimum, this should be a 4-star match. So WWE, do not mess this up. All right, and then so after Finn comes to, after the match, we have a Bray Wyatt promo, and we know where this is leading. It's been since Bray has came to Raw. We're gonna get Bray and Finn at SummerSlam. Honestly, this can be done so amazing. So we have Bray Wyatt with the craziness, correct? You know, Bray, his dark side, all mental, crazy. You know the thing we haven't seen from Finn in a while? The Demon King. Perfect. Bray, the destroyer of worlds, the eater of nightmares, versus Finn Balor, the Demon King. How good would that be? And you could do this so well. So I would let Bray come out first. You know, Firefly lights on, everything like that, before he even gets to the ring. Boom! You get the Demon King's music start to come up. And Finn, keep in mind, Wyatt's not even in the ring yet. You have Finn creeped up right behind Wyatt as he's entering the ring. So the whole time, Wyatt's hearing the new music. Obviously, he's, frustrated with the new music being on. But he doesn't realize that Finn is right behind him in the Demon King makeup. So we get in the ring. Bray turns around to see the Demon King. And that's the first time we see any inkling of fear come out of Bray Wyatt. And it's only momentarily. And then you could truly build a storyline off of that, I believe. But honestly, I guess we'll just have to wait, see, find out what happens. So after the Bray Wyatt promo, we have Bayley and Sasha with Kurt Angle in the background talking about the number one contender, giving each other props for their match. Of course, Bayley talking about the double knees to Alexis Bliss on the freaking commentator table. How that was fire. She had to keep rewatching it like 7 times. Kurt pretty much tells them, hey guys, you know what? You guys are going to decide this next week's in a #1 contender match. I mean, not really much to say there. Other than the fact, I think this would be the perfect time you turn Sasha heel. Sasha lost to Alexis on some bullshit because she ran away. She's having to have a #1 contenders match with Bayley for the women's title before she ever got her rematch, which, as you know, technically she won, so she still should have got the rematch. The next match should have been a no countout. I know this is part of the storyline, but with Bayley getting this shot and quote unquote her and Sasha being best friends, you could do the Sasha heel angle finally. Either Sasha comes up short next week and after the match, she totally destroys Bayley to the point where Bayley cannot participate in the women's title match at SummerSlam, or Bayley wins next week. She faces Alexis at SummerSlam before the match ending, and I know we all hate when matches end like this, but I think it would be really good. She comes down, loses her mind on Bayley, just starts snapping at her. What do you think? You're better than me? We were never friends. I was only using you. Yada yada yada. All the way down the list. I think this is a perfect chance and moment to turn Sasha heel, because that is the thing the women's division is missing most. Is Sasha as a heel? You have enough baby faces. I need more bad women. Nia and Alexis are amazing, but yo, could you imagine the trio of Alexis, Nia, and Sasha? Call themselves the bad bitches or something like that, man. I think that would be fire. I think it would be a dominant woman stable. I think it would really bring women's stables to the WWE and show that they can fully be worked if done correctly. Alright, so now we come back to a match that happened earlier in the show. Earlier in the show we had Tozawa versus... I'm sorry. We have... so it didn't happen earlier. So after the Bayley-Sasha reveal on the #1 contenders match next week, Tozawa and Hassan have a match. Really good match. I like the pacing of the match. I like the way it was done. For being a 205, it wasn't extremely high flying, which was crazy. It was actually a lot of technical in-ring moves, but I mean, Hassan is the man when it comes to that. But at the end of this match, I like where they went. Titus throws in the towel. Pretty much. Not specifically throws in the towel, but tells the ref he can't, Tozawa can't continue. Tozawa is pissed. You can see the anger on his face. He's backing out of the ring like, what are you doing to me? And then we actually come back to this a little later in the show. And I don't want to separate these two because I like how it's done. When we come back later in the show, it's Tozawa and Titus backstage. And Titus is like, you can be mad at me. I'm not thinking about just tonight. I'm thinking about next week. I'm thinking about a year from now. I'm thinking about the future Cruiserweight champion. Just trying to tell Tozawa, man, some days you have to pick and choose your battles. To me, it's a heel. It felt like a heel thought. You know how a heel will give up specific matches just to stay fresh for later ones in this, obviously, just how they work it. That's what it felt like to me that Titus was telling Tozawa. Like, I know you're a beast. I know you always give it your all, but sometimes you need to live to fight another day. So I feel that he's giving him lessons, but at the same time, it's making me wonder in the back of my head, is Titus about to turn on Tozawa and he really has something set up with Aries? Hassan? Mustafa Ali? TJP? I think TJP and Titus would be excellent together. I like TJP as a bad guy, or as a heel. I think all he needs is a real mouth. TJP kind of is boring on the mic. Other than that, I think he's amazing everywhere else. But I would like to see him and Titus do some work together. I think that would be very, very interesting. Um, we're gonna keep the Kurt Angle review to the very, very end. That's what we're gonna close out the show with tonight, guys. So, we have a tag match between the Hardys and the Revival. I can't express it enough. Wow, watching the Revival work in the ring made me feel like I was back in the day watching the Anderson Bros, man, or the Rick and Arn, like true heel tag teams. The work they do and the teamwork they put in, absolutely phenomenal, guys. I mean, they truly bring back that feel of that 80s, 90s NWA wrestling to me. The more every time I see them, it's just more and more I want to see them. I don't think there is another tag team close to them on either brand in the company whatsoever. Just, God, it felt good, man. It felt good. I mean, watching this match gave me a breath of fresh air. You guys know I've been a little worn out with the Hardys lately, but watching the Revivals versus the Hardys kept me on the edge of my seat. The Revival pulling it out was phenomenal, even though I think this is perfect, because remember what I said last week, you just keep having the Hardys lose, and that's how you build that broken gimmick. And seeing the Revival come out on top was phenomenal. I want to see these guys obtain the championship and hold it for a couple years at least. God, just if you guys haven't seen the Revival yet, go ahead and just look for a YouTube match. Watch the way these boys work in the ring. It's like true old school tag team, man, where they're tagging in, performing moves together, man. Man, they're doing little old heelish tactics. I mean, everything is Jesus, man. They are so damn good. I cannot express it enough. Do yourself a favor and really go check out the Hardys, guys. And then we have a moment I was waiting for the whole night. I know everybody else was waiting for the whole night. We have our number one contender match for the Universal WWE Championship. Extremely hyped. I like the fact that they let Roman come out first. I like the fact that Joe came out later. I thought the pacing of the match was great. I loved how Joe was very extremely dominant in this match. And Roman definitely got his moments. And WWE had me very scared at the end. Like, oh shit, dude. They're about to let Roman pin Joe. But lo and behold, the WWE seen what we've been seeing, guys. And they didn't let him. So, shout out to JD from NY206. Follow this man on Twitter, Patreon. I am a subscriber anywhere possible to this man. I absolutely love the work he does. I think he is, next to TOP, the best in the game out there. Man, shout out to JD from NY206, man. I mean, I appreciate everything you do, brother. Just keep doing phenomenal greatness. But this man has been calling a four-way for over the last month. And if you actually watched Raw last week, I specifically mentioned how JD's been talking about this. They teased you with it was going to look like a three-way, but the WWE made the right move. Now, the whole night, I had this feeling watching. I was like, I bet you Braun interferes. In my mind, I thought Braun would have interfered with Roman, Lesnar would have interfered with Joe, and that's how you'd have broke it down to the four-way. But I like the fact that they let Braun come out and destroy them both. And there was even a moment when Roman and Joe are working together. So Joe has him in the coquina clutch, and Roman looks like he's going to do the spear to Braun, but Braun catches him with the boot. In my mind the whole time, I'm like, damn, how cool would that be if you hit him with the spear with Joe on the back? Joe stays on and just cinches it tighter. That would have been cool. But to see Braun throw the boot in Roman's face, and then to see Braun just destroy them both, man. Like, I forget what it was. There's a moment where Joe and Braun are outside the ring. And God, does Braun just tower over everybody. Even makes Samoa Joe look small. But I forget what exactly they do, but they even allow at this time Braun to just completely overpower Joe, which is so good. You're just building that persona of the monster and making me want to see this 4-way match. How good is this gonna be? I have a destroyer, I have a monster, I have a beast, and I have a guy who owns the yard. I mean, I could really. Guys, honestly, I think this match is going to be phenomenal. I love everything they're doing with this build up. I love the fact that they kept Joe in it. I love the WWE sees what we've been all seeing, that Joe is just pure greatness. I know Mr. Mean Dean is excited through his mind to see this. I can't wait to get back in the TOP lounge to talk specifically with the boys. If you guys don't know, me and Mean Dean, unfortunately, we switched buildings. I got a promotion, so I mean, it wasn't all for the worst. But I don't get to talk to my man on a regular, everyday basis, so I kind of feel lost. It's hard going even 2 days without getting that WWE talk in, you know? But I can't wait to sit down and talk to these guys. I mean, because that was once again done so well. And the fact that I want to see Brock come next week. I want to see all three of them. And then I want to see Brock and Heyman show up. Like, I want to see all four in the ring. I want an episode of Raw to end with all four of these fools in the ring destroying each other. It's so bad the entire locker room, all the security come out to try to pull these four apart. Cannot. These four actually destroy everybody else and then come back to battling each other. How freaking pumped and excited would that leave you to see next week? Like, oh my God. Just thinking about it now, guys. I am super excited for what we are going to see at SummerSlam. Now, it's once again about waiting till SummerSlam, because we do have a nice little minute until we get to see this fun stuff. But God, was this... I don't think they can miss in any way. I think Joe being in this, just once again, just his... Right now, his is the stock you want to own in the WWE, man, because that shit is just going to the sky. It is not stopping. I don't see anything pulling that man back down unless it's Vince McMahon making a poor decision. I think you could use this to turn Roman into a heel and still make it feel organic other than forced. I think Braun can come out of this just looking like the most scariest thing on earth. And there's nothing to say about Lesnar, man. I mean, he's always had his credibility. The man is a UFC champion. So anybody who doubts this man, you are an idiot, and I think you sit back in your chair and correct yourself. All right, dun dun dun. Now, let's talk about tonight's big reveal. As I was saying earlier, ideas were all over the place with what this reveal could have been. To be honest with you, up until Showtime yesterday, I had actually forgotten that we were going to get the reveal last night. And then about Showtime, as soon as I remember, then once again my interest was piqued. So, Kurt goes out in the ring, says his speech, explains, that back in his college days, he had a promiscuous relationship. And from this promiscuous relationship, he had a son. His son was given up for adoption. His son was adopted by a caring, loving family that just pushed him. That this man is a 3-sport athlete in high school, had a shot to go to the major leagues, decided against it, stayed with wrestling, and Kurt couldn't be any more happier. Kurt wants to keep the tradition of airing the dirty laundry out in the middle of the ring, which I enjoy. And then you can see emotions actually start to build in Kurt. So he had me sold for a minute. And then it's revealed that Jason Jordan is his son. And while Jason Jordan's walking into the ring, I'm like, first off, good selection, good choice. Okay, I could see how they would be related. It also makes me think, hey, Kurt's got a thing for them darker ladies, and I really dig that. So that's freaking awesome, man. Kurt, Jungle Fever, I love it. Keep it going. But while I'm watching this, the Kurt's really got a lot of emotions built up. He's doing really good. I didn't feel enough emotion from Jason Jordan. I'm interested to see where this is going to go. I think this was a great combination. I think Jason can learn a lot from Angle. I think you could do a lot with the story and showing that, maybe, and you can actually run Angle out of the general manager's position with this by like having him show favoritism to Jason Jordan, things of that nature. But as far as for the reveal itself, it was a lot of build up for nothing for me. As I said, I'm curious to see where this goes from here, but I just feel that WWE wasted a lot of weeks in my time with the shit reveal. I mean, cool, I get it, but just shittily done, man. I would have been more interested with Jason Jordan just coming out of nowhere and being like, yo, Kurt, you're my dad. You know what? You left my life. Fuck you. And then we have some kind of grudge where they slowly start to build that bond of father-son together. I just thought the reveal itself was very blah, but I am excited. I am looking forward to seeing where they go with this. But as far as for the reveal itself, that's all I really have to say about last night's reveal. As you know, as the weeks go, we'll definitely cover it more and more, see what storyline they build with this, where they're going. But for now, I think the reveal was a failure. But it does have my curiosity piqued. Well, with that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in for another glorious Monday Night Raw review. We wouldn't be here without you guys. I just want to say thanks to all the fans. You guys are absolutely amazing. Once again, I want to remind you guys that you stuck through the whole video. We do, every month from here on out, have the WWE Network gift card giveaway. So you can get 1 month free on the TOP. All you got to do is like, subscribe, make a little comment in the box. We'll choose a random comment, and that'll be our winner. We'll send you we'll shout out the winner. You send us a direct email. We'll go ahead and get your shipping information. Go ahead and get that out for you. Once again, congratulations to the TOP first winner, which is Mr. Tommy Guns. If you guys can tell, TOP definitely wanted to do this because we need to get our man on the network, because when we're hitting the deep things like the 3 at a table last night that I ended up watching instead of doing the review, Tommy can't see those. So, hey, going forward now he can. If you like, subscribe, and comment at the bottom, you definitely can too. But until next time, from JG, from the TOP, the whole Outsider podcast, and a big shout out to my main man, Cambo. Suck it. TOP, see you next week, guys.